car semifinals. Slingshot dragsters with stock-appearing bodies. Weird machines, to say the least, and this one belongs to one of the best in the business. A familiar face to wide world of sports viewers, that of Don Purdom, the Snake, winner of the 1974 Nationals at Indianapolis. Don, they tell me that the funny car is the hardest dragster to drive. If so, why?
Well, it kind of depends what category you're in when they make that statement. But yeah, I feel as though the funny car is plenty tough to drive. It has a lot shorter wheelbase than the fuel dragster, although they have the same engine in the car. The wheelbase is a lot shorter, and it's a little more touchier to handle.
What about the aerodynamic forces acting on the car from the outside?
Well, of course, that has a lot to do with it. Without the right spoiler height in the car and the car being close to the ground, it's a little evil handling.
Don, what about the mental pressures on a drag racing driver? You've seen it all. The celebration and the despair. What kind of mental shape must a drag racer be in to do well?
Well, it plays on your nerves, I would say, every bit as tough as championship racing, NASCAR racing, all forms of racing. I'm a great fan of Indianapolis racing. I follow it pretty close. And some folks seem to think that's all you do is set in one of these things, go down a quarter of a mile in 6 seconds, it's over with. But to get ready for the race and get your head all set for it in that length of time, it feels like a lifetime, 6 seconds.
The world of the big-time drag racer is a succession of eternities. Staging, start, run, and slow down. Another dimension, another man in another car. And funny car racing isn't funny at all. Green Elephant, the car of Mike Miller, a young Mountain Lake Terrace, Washington driver, in the bleach box. And look at that fat, soft rear tire. These tires have 5 to 7 pounds of air pressure in them, kept that way so they get as much bite as possible on the asphalt surface. His rival will be Bill Levitt of Richmond, Virginia, in a 75 Mustang. Levitt, the fastest qualifier here, has a jinx to beat. For in all the years and in all the classes at Pomona, the fastest qualifier has only won 2 titles, both by Don Purdom and many years ago. Now in the staging area, the critical staging area. Remember, to win, you must get to the other end first, regardless of time or speed. And staging in this context is very important. The timing light breaks just beyond the staging lamp, a matter of inches. And at this level of competition, it is these few inches that often mean victory or defeat. Hence the need for great precision and reaction time on the part of the drivers involved. They're standing by, about ready to go, revving the engines up. The Green Elephant, the car owner's name is Green, and has an elephant engine, a unique way to christen a car, and they wait for the light to turn green, and they're off. Levitt swivels, and it looks like the jinx is beating Levitt as Miller goes down in a beautiful run. 6.447 seconds for Mike Miller. The speed, 212.79 miles an hour. Over 200 miles an hour from a standing start. Miller moves to the finals. And in the second semifinal, it's going to be the Army versus the Marines. Yes, the battle for recruits extends to the drag strip as Don Purdom has the backing of the khaki, and his rival Charlie Thurwanger of Lubbock, Texas, is spurring Marine enlistment. Neither driver is a serviceman. It's also going to be a Chevrolet Pontiac battle, as Purdom's car, a new Chevy Monza, is going against Thurwanger's Pontiac Grand Am. A speed of 212.76 miles an hour. Let's have another look. Watch Thurwanger in the right lane. He gets a little bit sideways, and right there is where he loses it, as as Purdom goes down to beat Miller in the finals. Purdom's time, 6.286 seconds. No time for bobbling. A quick reminder, 1 week from tomorrow, it'll be the Daytona 500 stock car race, live on most of these ABC stations, except in portions of the Southeast. Now let's move over here to the pre-stage area and chat with the fellow who faces Don Purdom in the funny car finals. You got a serious look on your face, Mike. Going against Purdom, I guess, is probably the toughest guy you could face, huh?
He's tough, but I'm not really worried about him. I mean, I feel that if the car's up to snuff, we'll win, and I think it is. And the Snake's just like another guy as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm sure I'm better. I mean, you know, you got to think you're the best or you never are.
The face-off between Miller and Purdom in just a moment. The funny car final, Mike Miller in his green elephant and Don Purdom in his army wagon, as the nitroglycerin-based fuel makes the exhaust flicker. Mike Miller, who has never won a title, is a contemplative man whose nerves, ability, and confidence are under severe test as he faces his last 6-second eternity of the day. 13,600 to win, 4,500 to lose. And Miller in trouble early as Purdom streaks for the line, win the title. Poor Mike Miller, a top driver, but just can't seem to get that first national win. Let's have another look. Off the line, Miller's car suddenly veers sideways. He's trying to gain control. He crosses the line. That's a disqualification, but he'd lost the race already as Purdom's car, like it's on rails, pops the chute, and another title for the Snake. Here it is from another angle. And there's Miller having trouble maintaining control of that high-powered car. The strike of the Snake, 6.243 seconds, 226.7 miles an hour. Now let's talk to the loser, Mike Miller. Mike, what happened?
Biggest car we had. I thought it'd hold, but it didn't.
Tire cost you the race.
Smoked the tires, yeah. Bummer. Oh well. Gainesville's next. We'll get him there. I think.
You tired of losing?
Yeah, I'm sure tired of it, that's for sure. Smoked the tires, right?
So, it's a familiar picture that we see so often on Wide World of Sports. Tough break, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
The man who gives his best only to suffer the agony of defeat. And he ponders just where to place the blame, on himself or his equipment.
I knew it was, I couldn't believe those big tires had come loose.
What about Miller? When did you know he had trouble?
Well, I really didn't know because, you know, you set in these things, you really can't tell what's happening. So I run my own race and leave the start line. As long as I don't see him, I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay, after we run this round of Jerry Ruth and Mike Miller, we'll have our drivers meeting and lunch break. We'll have a drivers meeting and lunch break after Jerry Ruth, Mike Miller, Matt Bash. Red King, Jerry Ruth, right lane. Green Elephant, Mike Miller, left lane. Both cars, super strong. Really going to put on the show for you. These two cars generate a lot of noise. You have to watch this start. It's going to be something to watch. This is a pro-style start. Two cars are rolling into the lights. Get the staging lights. There will only be one amber, then the green. It's a strictly pro-start. One amber, then the green. So as you watch the bottom side of the Christmas tree, you'll see just one amber flash, then a green flash.
Okay, they're fired up. And here we go, Rick. Pair of real strong He just put the body down the elephant. He's all strapped in, he's ready to go. That's Mike Miller in the green elephant. Jerry Ruth in the competition specialties Mustang. They're both running big aluminum Chrysler engines. There's Jerry Ruth right now pulling in. Both getting ready to do their burnouts. Yeah, these cars are really something to watch. Here they go. Smoke them up. Sure. Wow, that's unreal! Did you see the smoke those things produce?
Jerry's really doing it again.
They do 8-mile burnouts, believe it or not. 8-mile burnouts. You can't even see the starting line right now. There's so much smoke back there. Here it comes. They're backing up. They're getting ready to go again. Those guys can back those cars up as fast as we take them forward on the track sometimes. Ruth has won just about every race he's entered this year, and he doesn't want to lose this one. This match race, 2 out of 3. Here comes Jerry Ruth and his Contenders Specialties Mustang. Jerry the King Ruth versus Mike Miller. Green Elephants out of the Jim Green Speed Center in Linwood, Washington. He's backing him up. Another big burnout by Jerry Ruth. That's some car, I tell you. They do their burnout. You can't even see the start. Another big one by the Green Elephant. Boy, they're sure heating them up. They got no cooling system in these. Just the water in the engine. Get them nice and hot. The tires are hot. And they're hot. They're gonna go. 2 beautiful cars. They're getting ready to stage them. They're getting staged. Are you ready for this one? This is the big one. The first match race of the day between 2 funny cars. Look at that burnout! 1/4 mile! Unreal, but Jim Green red lighter, he loses. Left lane loses, he got to the end first, but he red lighted, he left too early, so Jerry Ruth takes the first run down.
Funny car twosome to kick off round 1 featured Raj Hamrick in the Mountain Music Mustang 2 in lane 1, and in lane 2 it's Cheryl Greer's Unchained Lightning. Both are top competitors. The Unchained Lightning bolts through the traps to take the win with a 7.06. Raj got a bad start, veered off the track, and quickly shut her down. Here's 2 more great ones. Mr. and Mrs. Soul, driven by D. Simmons in lane 1, going against the Revell Snowman, fired up by Dale Emery in lane 2. Camaro versus Vega. Uh-oh, Emery red-lighted. He blazes out a fantastic run, but to no avail. He's out, and D. Simmons takes an easy 112-mile-an-hour ride to the win. Here's Richard Tharp in the Burkhart Plymouth Satellite. He'll take out Donnie Plunkett in the Mischief Maker. Plunkett driving the Gremlin in lane 1. Tharp, the Satellite, in lane 2. They're staged. A 1,750 horsepower Hemi engine carries Tharp through the traps with a winning ET of 7.48 to Plunkett's 7.65. The 4th funny car run in round 1 features the Wilson Franklin Greer Chevy Monza with Paul Smith aboard. Paul is up against Jake Crimmins in Revell's Jungle Jim. He's driving a Chrysler-powered Vega with an iron block. It takes Jake Crimmins 6.8 seconds to run the quarter and knock Paul Smith out of round 2. The Vega clocked just a shade over 206 miles per hour. Like a man from Mars is Denny Lockaby driving the Witch's Brew. He'll take on the Blue Max, a Dallas, Texas entry driven by Ray Beadle. The burnouts are deafening. The Blue Max roars down lane 2 and through the traps first with a winning ET of 7.45, and Lockaby's engine explodes just as he crosses the finish line. Dennis is all right, but his crew will have a lot of work on the car. This next pair-off features another Chrysler-powered Vega with Don Casto driving, and in lane 2, Denny Savage in the famous Chi-Town Hustler. The Hustler from Chicago makes a beautiful run with a winning ET of 6.94. Denny Savage moves to round 2, and he could be tough. Here's one we've been waiting for. Charlie Lee in the Hartzell Brothers Vega, and Kenny Safford driving Mr. Norm's Supercharger, another Chicago entry. Both cars are well prepared. The drivers are top professionals. Oh no, Charlie Lee's Vega developed trouble on the burnout. He loses fire at the start line, and a very disheartened crew watch Kenny Safford take off on a solo run to put Mr. Norm's Dodge in round 2. The last funny car runoff in round 1 highlighted Tom Hoover's Showtime, another Chevy Vega, and a little Mustang 2 called the Eastern Raider, piloted by Dale Puldy. Hoover will go in lane 1, Puldy in lane 2, Vega versus Mustang. Here it is. Tom Hoover takes the win in the Vega with an ET of 6.87. The crowd gives a standing ovation as the funny cars come out for round 2. There's some tough machinery coming out of the pits, like this first pairing of Richard Tharp and Jake Crimmins in Ravel's Jungle Gym. The burnouts are sensational. Smoke cleared away, they found both the cars and the drivers, and then moved them onto the start line. Tharp did it. He burned Crimmins by 2/100ths of a second with an ET of 6.70, 211 miles per hour. Hey, now there's 2 wild ones on the start line. Cheryl Greer's Unchained Lightning going in lane 2, and Dale Emery driving the Revell Snowman. This could be a battle right down to the wire. It was heads up to the halfway mark, then Cheryl Greer gave the Mustang its head and streaked through the traps with a winning ET of 712. Clocking a little over 196 miles per hour. That's Kenny Safford in Mr. Norm's Supercharger. He'll have lane 2, and in lane 1, it'll be Dale Puldy driving the Eastern Raider. Look out, Puldy blows an engine. The Raider is engulfed in flames, and he wins it. Dale Puldy's ET of 7.92 put Kenny Safford out of the meet. Dale is all right, and as soon as he got the car back to the pits, his crew began putting a new engine in for round 3. Everyone was waiting for this last runoff in round 2. Ray Beadle burned the Blue Max out in lane 2. He's got a large-sized problem in lane 1, though. It's Denny Savage in the Chi-Town Hustler. 2 great drivers staging 2 of the hottest funny cars in the nation. makes round 3. Ray Beadle singed the Hustler by 5/100ths of a second to take the win. A fantastic side-by-side run all the way down the strip, and they had the crowd screaming. Funny cars have a brand of excitement all their own, and when they came out for the semifinals, the crowd was up. Richard Tharp fired up Mike Burkhart's Plymouth Satellite first. He'll take lane 2. Cheryl Greer's Unchained Lightning Mustang will fire out of lane 1. Tharp had trouble on the burnout. When his crew checked the car over, they found out he blew the rear end. That was all it took to put the Plymouth back on the trailer and give Cheryl Greer the win in a solo run in lane 1. Here's the Eastern Raider, complete with a new engine. Dale Pulde blew the little Mustang in the quarterfinal runoff, and his crew did a super job of changing power plants. Now, he has just one worry left. In lane 2, a guy by the name of Ray Beadle, driving one of the fastest funny cars in the nation, the Blue Max. Beadle blows the doors off the Raider and puts the Blue Max through the traps with a winning ET of 6.72. As I mentioned earlier, due to heavy rains all morning, the start of today's events were delayed until 1 p.m. As a result, darkness prevented us from filming the final runs. In the funny car finals, the battle was between Ray Beadle's Blue Max and Cheryl Greer's Unchained Lightning. Cheryl had a bad run, so the Blue Max took the win, clocking an ET of 6.58. Top funny car speed of the meet was 220 miles per hour, racked up by Denny Savage in the Chi-Town Hustler. The meet and the finals ended at 9:30 p.m. amidst a tired but still cheering crowd.
I'm sitting in the cockpit of Dave Condit's impeccably prepared funny car. The NHRA rules stipulate that certain points of stress must be made of special materials, so as a consequence, the car is made of the best materials available. The driver is encapsulated in a roll cage in the event the car should turn over. He's back in here and protected, held by safety harnesses. In the event of fire, these red knobs release the fire bottles for the extinguishers that are mounted up front on the car. Around the transmission is a can around the bell housing, and behind the transmission is a fiberglass blanket that contains any parts that might want to fly should that unit explode. Right here, in the event of a fire, the driver hits this and CO2 comes back, cooling him off. And then, in order to get stopped, 2 parachutes are mounted out back. The controls are mounted in the roof. He has the option of using 1 or 2. So safety in NHRA drag racing starts with the car. Ray Beadle of Texas comes to Indianapolis with high hopes of winning. He is the top qualifier. We've been following a lady in the top fuel category, Shirley Muldowney, the woman behind the wheel. Now, let's have a word with Mrs. Holly Beadle, the woman behind the man. When your husband's car goes to the line, where do you station yourself? What do you do, and what goes through your mind?
When Raymond goes to the line, I'm in the truck. We have a tow truck that pulls the car to the line. I usually wait in the car. I just watch the car. I pray for him. And I worry a lot.
The funny car, the most exotic and the most dangerous in all the sport of drag racing. Why? For many reasons. Firstly, it is a fuel dragster with a short wheelbase, hard to keep straight. The engine is directly in front of the driver, the worst place. And because of the light plastic body, it makes it difficult in the event of an accident to get the driver out, and in the event of a fire, it tends to be burned. There's John Lombardo in the near lane. They're on the line, ready to go, and down they go. Lombardo smokes his tires, and Beadle takes another step towards being the funny car champion. By the way, the term funny car just happened. The car looked funny and handled funny, and the name stuck, and now it's an official category. And so Ray Beadle comes down the run, shuts his engine off to save it for the final round as a happy Holly Beadle gets in the truck with the crew to go down and meet their victorious man, Ray Beadle of Texas in the Blue Max Mustang. Wally Parks and his wife Barbara, the man who single-handedly has furthered the sport of drag racing more than any other in this country, president of the National Hot Rod Association. And now, it's two neighbors, two men from Granada Hills, California, in the next run. Don Purdom, the Snake, in his Army Monza, and Bob Pickett in his Grand Am sponsored by the Marines. You might say, inter-service rivalry. And Purdom is shooting for his third straight Nationals victory. No one has ever won a Nationals title 3 years running. Pickett's car was built by famous drag racing pioneer Mickey Thompson. He's chosen the Pontiac Grand Am body, while Purdom likes the Chevy Monza body shell. And Purdom is off to a fine start, leading the Marine in the lurch, and it's the Army first across the line. Parachute out, and Don Purdom gets closer and closer towards winning a third straight U.S. Nationals Funny Car Championship. In funny car qualifying, Earl Binns in the left lane started out, and a problem developed and a wheel came off. His car turned and went right across in front of Ron O'Donnell and tipped the guardrail on the far side of the track. He was uninjured and brought the car down the track to a safe halt. Here's his wife, Vicki. What were you thinking about when your husband's wheel came off?
I was scared to death. I didn't know what happened. I couldn't see anything. Well, I saw the wheel come off, and I saw a lot of smoke, and then we had to get into the push car, and from then on I didn't see him until we got stopped at the end of the track.
Did you have a talk with him about getting out of this crazy business?
I had a talk with myself, and I said I'd never come again, but I'll be here next year.
There you have it. Next up, the funny car. Ray Beadle, the fastest qualifier on the left. Don Purdom going for an unprecedented third straight Nationals victory. The 20 years of Nationals here at Indianapolis, no one has ever been able to win 3 in a row. Beadle chose the left lane because of his faster time in the previous round. It may well be the faster of the two lanes. A bit ago, we talked with both drivers.
Thinking about 3 in a row and how no one's ever done it? Yeah, that's all you have to think about. You don't like to think about it. It's just like, like Foyt shooting to win his third or fourth or fifth one, whatever he's trying to do. It's something that's hard to do, but I'm kind of just thinking about the race, really, and I'm going to run him just like we had a little match race down at some drag strip someplace.
How much you think about yourself as compared to how much you think about Beadle?
Well, he's awfully good, but they've been known to make some mistakes, and what can I say? It's going to be the best man that wins out there.
Ray, your crew looks pretty confident.
They're all tired. They've got to work. Harry here's really got to work out this weekend. Him and Fred, the other one behind us. Everyone's worked hard for this race. It's really been a hard one for us, but it'll be worth it if we win.
What's Mama think about it?
I'm ready. Ready for the win.
What are you going to be doing during those few seconds he's on the run?
Watching and waiting and hoping.
Got a celebration plan?
Oh, we'll celebrate. If we win this one, we'll celebrate.
And here's Don Purdom, the man who wants to see to it there's no celebration in the Beadle camp this evening, bringing his car to the line. On the right-hand side, the body goes up, and this means trouble. What could it be on the Blue Max? Remember, Purdom said that the Beadle crew have been known to make mistakes. Have they made one here? If they've made one, Purdom will go down the line uncontested for an easy victory, as we saw earlier in the bike. They're bringing Purdom's car back as they're working on Beadle's machine. Purdom keeps his tires warm. Now the body is down, and they seem to be ready. This crucial moment, more than $9,000 will go to the winner of this funny car final. The question is the engine in Beadle's car up to it? Will it be a first ever for Ray Beadle, or will it be an unprecedented third straight for Don Purdom, who's driving for not only himself, but the U.S. Army? Standing by. Very close. And Beadle surges ahead to dethrone Purdom. And the 3 straight jinx prevails here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And is this Texas crew ever jubilant, running on their high-heel boots in the truck? And that celebration is definitely on tonight. Beadle had set a national record of 6.14 seconds in qualifying. For it to become official, he had to run within 1% of that time during the same event. Thus, a 6:20 or faster would make it official. And so he did. Turn around. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You said you were going to do it. You did. What problems did you have at the line?
Well, when I started backing up, I noticed it having a small oil leak, and I could just see the trail, and that kind of went across my tracks. And I didn't think Harry and them saw it, so I was trying to motion for them to see it. They saw it. Here they come.
How'd you beat him?
We left first, and I think we set the record on that run. We backed up our 6:14 record.
Well, congratulations. Beat him! 16! No way! You're doing so bad! And so a 6-second run gives these people memories that will last for years. For Holly Beadle, her prayers are answered, and her day is done. The fans in the stands are wondering about Cha-Cha Moldowski and Don Garlett, but for Holly Beadle, it's a place to find solace with her thought. Attaboy Beadle!
Here we move to some highlights of the first round of Funny Car Eliminator. On the near side, the Chicago Patrol car, driven by Pat Foster, sponsored by a police organization in the city of Chicago. In the far lane, from California, Gary Cochran driving Jim Terry's Mustang. And on this run, you see a good example of the safety requirements of the National Hot Rod Association and the trackside crew of Axel Weber's safety caravan as Jim Terry and Gary Cochran up in flames. They cross the finish line. The body's starting to catch on fire as you see the dark black smoke starting to pour off the car. The body comes off the car as he gets into the dirt. Pat Foster right in behind him. The safety caravan crew rolling to the scene. You see Gary Cochran getting out of the car under his own power. It's still smoking. The fire very intense as he went across the finish line. But that fire suit, the onboard fire extinguishing system, knocking down the fire to allow Gary Cochran out of the car. First round action again of Funny Car Eliminator. Tom Hoover, near lane with the Showtime car. In the far lane, Raymond Beadle, the guy that won the Nationals this year. He is from Dallas, Texas. The car of Tom Hoover out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Blue Max, one of the quickest funny cars in the world. Here at the Big O and the World Finals, and Raymond Beadle winning that first round race handily. 6:21 is elapsed time, 203 miles an hour. E.T., that's from the starting line to the finish line. That's how long it takes you to travel, 1,320 feet from a standing start. Here on the near side, Little John Lombardo. He's from Sherman Oaks, California. Dale Paldy driving the Pfluger and Geiger Mustang. They won it all here a year ago with another driver. A very close race. They're side by side, and at the finish, Little John Lombardo. Strong burnouts by two funny cars. Jungle Jim Lieberman on the near side. He is matched up against the car that won the Nationals. This is Raymond Beadle. The funny cars utilizing the same 2,000 horsepower engines. In 1975, they're sleek and low to the ground, but back in the early 60s, when they first got started, they were anything but that. They are steel-bodied cars, just like what you drove on the street, with supercharged fuel-burning engines. You first saw the Dodge from Chrysler Corporation. Then comes the Mercury Comet of Jack Crispin. Then you get to the funny cars, when they started altering the wheelbases, moving the wheelbase around, moving the front wheels forward, the rear wheels forward. This Gene Snow back in the 60s. Then you come to the fiberglass cars. This is the first ever fiberglass funny car, the Mercury Comet of Don Nicholson. Chrysler and Ford Motor Company in a tremendous battle back in the mid to late 60s. Color Me Gone, Roger Lindemood, a perfect example of the fiberglass bodies with a tilt from the front. And here we have one of the true funny cars. This is a Jeep, and probably the name funny car came from those rather unique drag racing creations that led to this, the sleek, low bodies, cutting through the wind, 2,000 horsepower, propelling these funny cars at speeds over 240 miles an hour from a standing start in just 1,320 feet. Here is the first race of this round. Quarterfinal action. It's Jungle Jim Lieberman against Raymond Beadle. In other action this round, Denny Savage driving the Tri-Town Hustler defeated Norm Wilcox, but Wilcox unable to answer the call. Little John Lombardo beat Tom Brock, and we're ready between Beadle and Lieberman. Raymond Beadle's Mustang, 6.16 seconds. Moving very strong as he defeats Jungle Jim Lieberman. Here's the car that has dominated it. In fact, John Prudhomme has already annexed the World Championship title, as he has earned enough points without even winning this race to become the World Champion for 1975. His competition, Pat Foster, the Chicago Patrol. Don Prudhomme has already gone 241 miles an hour with a funny car, the fastest man in history ever to drive a full-bodied car through the quarter mile. He is looking for that magic 5-second run with a funny car. No one has ever done it before. Can Don Prudhomme do it here at the NHRA World Final? In this pass, it'll be Don Prudhomme against Pat Foster. Foster out of Chicago, Illinois. The all-important start. Both drivers concentrating on the Christmas tree as they approach those staging beams, inching into the beams. Reaction time, all important here. Don Prudhomme easily outdistances Pat Foster, a 6.17. Safety is also all important to the drivers, and there are many requirements, particularly in funny car. Here we see Norm Wilcox at the wheel of the Hawaiian, the car bursting into flames, one of the most severe fires you'll ever see, the dark black smoke indicating now that the fiberglass body is caught on fire. He negotiates the curve, goes to the hay bale. Norm Wilcox with the Hawaiian coming to a stop. This in first round action, the fire blazing away. But out of the smoke, you will see Norm Wilcox coming out the side of the car as his fire suit protected him. The fire extinguishing bottles knocking down the flames long enough to let him get out. In drag racing, there's all sorts of vehicles, exhibition cars such as this one. Richard Schroeder driving a beautiful Chevy Nova wheel stander, covering the entire quarter mile on his rear wheels. The pads putting out the sparks. This is an exhibition car. Crossing the finish line at a speed over 110 miles an hour, Richard Schroeder and his wheel-standing Chevy Nova. Semifinals of Funny Car Eliminator. The burnout getting those tires extremely hot, extremely sticky. That was Little John Lombardo on the near side. Denny Savage driving the Chi-Town Hustler, matched up against Little John. It's Don Prudhomme and Raymond Beadle in a rematch of the Nationals. We'll see that in just a moment. Right now, Little John Lombardo and Denny Savage approaching the starting line. And Denny Savage with an upset win over John Lombardo, 6.21 seconds to a losing 6:34. The rematch of the Nationals coming up next in semifinal action here at the NHRA World Finals. Raymond Beadle, the winner of the Nationals in Funny Car Eliminator in the Blue Max, against none other than Don the Snake Prudhomme.
Don Prudhomme, you've already annexed the World Championship title, $20,000. You're coming in running as faster than any man in history in a funny car. Does this lessen your desire to win now that you've already annexed the World Champion title?
No, certainly not. That's just kind of a little frosting on the cake, actually. It just kind of adds to it, and it just pumps you up and run a little bit harder. And no, we're strictly out to win the race. Matter of fact, I would trade all that for a win.
Don Prudhomme winning 5 of 7 national events already this year. An incredible record, going up against Raymond Beadle, the man he lost to in the finals at the Nationals. Don Prudhomme, already the quickest car here at the World Finals. Raymond Beadle, the second quickest. Let's see how they do. Leaving the line together, but look at Don Prudhomme. Tremendous time for Don the Snake Prudhomme, ladies and gentlemen, 5.98 seconds. 5.98 seconds for Don Prudhomme. That the first 5-second time ever recorded by a funny car in the history of drag racing. His speed, 237 miles an hour. Raymond Beadle losing with a 6:34, shutting it off at 191, knowing there's no chance to catch the Snake. So the Snake goes into the finals against Denny Savage, setting for the first time in history the first funny car ever in the fives.
Congratulations to you. You backed up the 241. You've now got the record at that and the World Championship, the title here at this event. A great show.
Well, I got to say thank you very much, but I can't think of a finer operation NHRA to run at a fine facility like this, like Ontario Raceway. It's probably got to be the best racetrack in the whole entire world.
Congratulations to you down, Wally Park.
That's just beautiful. I think you already know how proud we are of you. Everything that you've done here today just wrapped it all up beautifully.
Well, thank you very much, Wally. Thank you.
Get your congratulations from your crew. Final eliminations from the World Finals in just a moment. Here now, the finals of Funny Car Eliminator. If you've ever heard of an underdog, you're looking at it here. This is the Chi-Town Hustler. Denny Savage doing a great job putting the Hustler into the finals against this man, Don the Snake Prudhomme, the first man ever to run over 240 miles an hour in a funny car. The first man ever in the fives with a funny car. Prudhomme matched up against the Chi-Town Hustler. One of the rare national event appearances by the Chi-Town Hustler. While Don Prudhomme has competed in all of them this year, has won 5 out of 7 national events contested thus far in 1975. He has already won the World Finals title based on total points earned, and he would love to annex this event title here at the 1975 World Finals. Farconis, Coyle, and Minnick. Denny Savage, the driver of the Chi-Town Hustler, using a Dodge body, the Chevy body, in the funny car of Don the Snake Prudhomme as they come towards the starting line. The 2 finalists in Funny Car Eliminator. Smoking on the Chi-Town Hustler, giving the win as Don Prudhomme puts it through an outstanding 6.15 seconds at over 240 miles an hour for Don the Snake Prudhomme.